Continuing on with my video game environment series, here's my top 5 interior stages and areas in video games. Hopefully this is apparent from the title, but this is my list of favorites. This is heavily influenced by my own subjectiveness and biases, but I will try to explain as thoroughly as I can why each area appeals to me. Also, I will be upfront with the fact that I am a Nintendo fanboy, and as such, most entries are going to be from those games. However, I am limiting it to 1 entry per series for each video, otherwise certain series would dominate these rankings. I'm going to touch on aesthetics, level design, and music. Without any further ado, let's go! Coming in at number 5 is Kyodai Pyramid from Dragon Ball Z Buu's Fury. Here we have the first entry of many where the corresponding desert of the pyramid was on the previous list. Pyramids in video games are often known for their treasure hunting and booby traps, and that's plenty fulfilled here. Outside of the pyramid, a scholar asks you to find his kidnapped colleagues inside in exchange for a Dragon Ball. Once you're inside, you'll be assaulted by mummies, shuriken floor traps, and platform puzzles. Most rooms have a very similar beige look, with Egyptian statues and sarcophaguses throughout. There's an upstairs chamber where you have to find 4 red jewel switches to press to get you into the final room where you battle King Totenhep. This song is shared with Diablo Desert, but I actually think it works better here, as it's intense and sinister, but it doesn't take itself too seriously, which captures the feel of this pyramid pretty well. There's a reason why it's number 5, however. All of the enemies in the stage are extremely annoying. Mummies throw bandages at you, which progressively slows you down. The armored skeletons have to be beaten 3 times before they're destroyed, and the ghosts are the worst. They're on the 2nd floor along paths surrounded by pits, and they have this obnoxious clap attack that can knock you off into the room below, so you have to climb all the way back up and around. They can also go intangible for a bit, so you have to wait for them to reform. Other than the enemies though, this is a fun dive into what pyramids are all about. At number 4 we have Shifting Sandland's Pyramid from Mario 64. This part of Shifting Sandland was my first introduction to pyramids. It has it all. Enemies, traps, and it even brought some quicksand from outside. Instead of being many chambered rooms, this is a giant open area which really reduces getting turned around and lost like in many pyramids. Except for the boss star, you'll be ascending up the pyramid, and I like how the higher you go, the narrower and more dangerous the paths become. Enemies include Goombas, Amps, Grindles and Spindles, and the boss Irock, which are 2 giant hands with eyes that you must defeat. Nintendo really loves this boss design. It uses cave theme for this pyramid, but it definitely conveys being a dark and creepy adventure. It's not the OG Mario pyramid, but it's the best one.
Here we go!
Next at number 3 is World 2-7, The Desert Pyramid Beckons from Yoshi's Woolly World. This fantastic level is great at introducing a mechanic in a small contained space before having you perform the mechanic in a greater and more dangerous way later on. Once you enter the pyramid, you'll end up in a central room with a locked door needing 4 keys and 4 paths in each corner of the room. Each of the 4 paths have different challenges to complete to earn yourself a key. This helps keep the visuals and tasks fresh, so what you're doing doesn't feel monotonous. Enemies include Pharaoh Guys, Fangs, Floofs, and Piranha Plants. Musically, it's the first theme on the list that heavily leans into Egyptian-based instrumentals and layers them over the main Yoshi medley, and it works perfectly in this level as it's both haunting and mysterious. Really the only problem I have with this level is the lift part after the door is unlocked. If you take it slow and are just trying to finish the level, it's not too bad. But if you're going for collectibles, it's very easy to get knocked off or crushed by platforms, and it can be extremely annoying. But the rest of the level has good balance between awesome level design, a great soundtrack, and a significant challenge. In second place we have the Spirit Temple from The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. No, technically it's not a pyramid, but it's in a desert, it has religious themes, and it's heavily influenced by Egyptian architecture, so I think you'll forgive me. This temple is one of the best in the series, really focusing on duality, having to traverse one side as a child in order to unlock the other side as an adult. Both paths are very similar in structure, and both lead to a large central room containing a statue of the goddess of sand. Being the last temple, if you played the right order, It has both child and adult Link use their entire arsenal of weapons and items in order to solve the hardest puzzles yet. It also introduces probably the most deadly enemies yet in the game, called the Iron Knuckles. This dungeon also houses enemies such as Anubis, Armos, and Blade Traps. The only thing we were missing were the mummy-like Gibdos to really slam the pyramid theme home. The temple's final boss is Twin Rova, a pair of witch sisters that use fire and ice powers, which you must reflect back at the other sister using your newly acquired mirror shield. Eventually the two combine to become a younger, more attractive witch? It's weird, but I love the elemental-based enemies, and so this is probably my favorite non-Ganon fight in the game. This is also one of the best musically themed temples in the series. It has that stereotypical Egyptian string and percussion sound that perfectly conveys a sense of history and reverence. This really had all the features necessary to top the list, from contrast yin-yang level design, the calm atmospheric music, to the fantastic boss battle. But it's technically not a pyramid, so let's just leave it here. Gold medal goes to Sandopolus Act 2 from Sonic & Knuckles. When you enter a pyramid, there should be a considerable amount of danger in order to get up to the inner sanctum, and this stage serves up a heaping helping of danger. Aesthetically, the stage quickly cycles between small trap-filled rooms and large sandslide-filled atriums. The background is filled with Egyptian imagery, hieroglyphics, and lit torches. The main mechanic of this stage are ghosts called Hierodoros that are released accidentally, and as the pyramid gets darker, the ghosts get larger and more menacing until they finally attack in the darkness. Sonic & Co. can keep them at bay by pulling switches to relight the torches, and this keeps the tension high, especially in sections where the sand is rising through vertical paths, where you have to keep the area lit and keep yourself from getting crushed to death. I love the way the music is similar to the desert stage from Act 1, but it is heavier and much more sinister. It still has that Egyptian sound, but it definitely has the feeling of an area that's trying to kill you. The stage ends against Eggman and his Egg Golem, which will slowly walk at you and try to crush you against the opposite wall. This boss is a piece of cake next to the rest of the level, and with little issue, it is taken care of. So what did you think of the list? Who did I leave off? Who should be on here? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please drop a like, subscribe, follow our various social media in the description below. Keep an eye out for more biome rankings in the future. And as always, have a blessed day.